What is good, Straw Hat Crew? Welcome back to the channel. We are back with another banger. But let's go ahead and jump straight into it. For today's title, we got Goofy Horror Movies. Let's jump straight into it. By the way, just to get this out of the way, who else favorite childhood horror was Chucky? That was mine, bro. That was mine. I ain't gonna.
You know, you don't see someone like me a lot in the cinema, primarily because I have to sacrifice my liver and one of my kidneys to even afford the ticket, and then sacrifice one of my balls in exchange for some popcorn. And if I feel lavish on that,
I'm on my last nut. I just watched the movie yesterday. Damn.
Is this nigga serious?
that day, I might even go for a beverage in exchange for my remaining ball. So if I go to the cinema, I have to make sure it's absolutely worth it. And by my definition, that means watching a horror movie with my friends. Ideally, a horror movie that is so atrociously bad, it makes me question my whole entire presence in that cinema hall. Now, apart from the fact that you always got some loud, noisy microwave heads talking to each other in full volume, ruining every single dreadful jump scare that you would have seen coming either way, a jump scare you could see, not see, shit, you could even smell the jump scare from the cinema's parking lot. I just hate the fact that horror movies don't give me the chills like they used to anymore. Now, first and foremost, I gotta say, I was one of those kids that was exposed to gruesome gore videos early on in life. So taking me as a benchmark is not ideal, but still, damn, these new horror movies are getting goofier and goofier.
I don't know. It wasn't really a horror. It was like a suspenseful kind of movie. But Sinners, the new Sinners, that shit was fire. That shit was tough. I told you about that earlier. Like, that shit was tough. And then, what's that fucking movie called? I'm gonna think of it, chat. I'm gonna think of it.
Fear by the minute. It's like these writers and producers sit there with their little whiteboards asking themselves, how can I make this movie look like the goofiest movie like ever? Scary Movie was supposed to be goofy, but some of these horror movies managed to be goofier than a movie that was supposed to be goofy. I feel like horror movies never really evolve. The same formula is used over and over again. Every jump scare is predictable. Every storyline is predictable. You always got the young.
If y'all want to watch one of
Come
the
on now,
scariest,
dawg.
like, movies ever,
Come on,
y'all
man.
need to go watch Scary Movie. I mean, that's gonna really sit you down. Having to watch some SpongeBob after. For real.
His family members, suddenly including some Victor Wembanyama looking like creature into his family portraits. If my son ever did some shit like this, best believe I'm sending this motherfucker 2-3 years. No, not to Dagestan. I'm sending this motherfucker deep into Siberia. You know, them remote cold places, them real trenches. Let's see if you still see Victor Wembanyama after this, little fucker. And even though I know that most horror movies are garbage, like pure and utter garbage, I still get fooled every single time. I fall for the same trap every single time. People on TikTok love to act like horror movies totally traumatize them.
This is us before watching Terrifier 3. Let's go. Excited. Woo! Woo!
No movies ever had me like this. I don't know what they've been watching.
They make videos like this, and then it turns out the movie was complete garbanzo dog shit. Like, these motherfuckers are over here talking about Terrifier 3. I have watched that shit in the cinema, and let me tell you, this shit is not scary at all. It is just what I like to call overkill. More does not equal better. At some point, you are doing so much it becomes goofy. Spoiler alert. Even though I think that there are more people buying the full version of WinRAR than people who would be upset about me spoiling Terrifier 3. Terrifier 3 takes place on Christmas Eve when Art the Clown comes back to kill again. And this motherfucker Art is OP. He is not regular. He is somewhat of a demon, but at the same time he's human, so it's never really made clear what the fuck he actually is. He goes on this violent killing spree in a small town, turning the holiday into a bloody nightmare. That killing spree was so over the top that most people in the cinema were constantly laughing instead of being, you know, terrified. Like that was.
Let me ask y'all something. Would y'all rather watch a movie that has a extremely good storyline and is, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of bad quality, or would you rather watch a super high def, super like you feel like you're in the fucking movie, but the script is just shit?
One time when Art uses a chainsaw and, you know, indulges it into the cheeks of this one guy who was having some fun in the shower. So I don't know what this motherfucker is talking about.
What did you just say?
Chainsaw and, you know, indulges it into the cheeks of this one guy who was having some fun in the shower. So
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
I don't know what this motherfucker is talking about. Is this an American thing? Are y'all just doing too much? Are y'all just soft? Like, what the fuck is going on? But damn, why am I making this video? Yesterday was one of those gloriously chosen days. After a long time, I actually went to the cinema. No snacks, of course. And me and my friends, we decided to watch the horror movie Until Dawn because TikTok told us to watch Until Dawn. Until Dawn was originally a PlayStation game which I played, and I gotta say, the game was pretty good. So I was like, the game was great. Why not give the movie a shot? The plot revolves around a friend group consisting of 5 people. Clover, or Clover, I don't really remember. The main character, Megan, a girl who is apparently going through a midlife crisis, considering she tells everybody she can sense energy with her hands. Nina, who, I don't know, to be honest, Nina was just there with her boyfriend Abel, a real fucktard. And last but not least, we got Max, who would damn near do anything to dive into Clover. So the 5 of them get together and they go to this remote valley where some years ago Clover's sister went missing. In hopes of finding answers for her sister's disappearance, they drive through this remote valley and they end up at this remote house in the middle of fucking nowhere. And of course, you find this house in the
Okay, so the game is a little bit different than the movie.
middle of fucking nowhere, the place your sister went missing. And what do? Yeah, you park the car right in front of the trap house and you decide to enter. Once they enter the house, they simultaneously enter a game, a psychosis, a curse. This is where this movie becomes insanely goofy because the stage is never really set. We are never told what actually just happened. The premise of the movie is that once they enter the house, this hourglass on the wall is activated, counting down the hours of the night. The challenge here is to somehow survive the night. If all of them 5 fuckers die, they respawn and they have to try again and again and again and again, and it's like an endless cycle of pain and suffering until they somehow make it out alive. First, they are chased by this insanely overpowered masked clown. What's up with all these clowns, bro? Then by this giant creature in the woods that somehow resembles Siren Head. Then there's this witch living across the street in a house that randomly appeared. I am not making this shit up, by the way. So nights pass, they die in the most gruesome ways possible, they respawn, they die some more, they respawn some more, they die some more again. Somewhere in the middle of the movie, Megan is killed. And she doesn't even reappear until the end of the movie. She probably just had severe diarrhea while filming on set. So the producers were like, yo, you gotta stay at home, bro. You can't be shitting around the whole entire place. So each night, the 5 of them, or
I don't know how he can watch a movie that's bad. I can't stand watching a bad movie, bro. Like, the title, bad movies and goofy horror movies are different, bro. Like I said, scary movie it's not scary, guys. I lied. It's just funny as shit. It's one of the funniest movies I've ever watched. You gotta go watch it. But I don't like bad movies. I can't sit there and watch anything that's shit. I just can't.
In that case, the 4 of them, they learned something new. And my personal favorite gimmick of the movie was the fact that every time they drank water, they exploded. Like literally, they exploded into thousands of pieces. And they exploded so many times in this movie. I am sure one of the CGI guys editing this movie stumbled upon this effect by accident. And everybody in that editing room was fucking with the effect so much they decided to spam it as much as they could. This shit made the movie look goofy in a way I can't even describe. The plot then suddenly turns into the area being haunted by these creatures called Wendigos. And apparently not only Clover's sister went missing here, a lot of people went missing here, and they all turned into Wendigos. For whatever reason. A Wendigo is a person who has been transformed into a monster by the consumption of human flesh. In the midst of the Wendigos hunting the 5, Clover realizes that her sister is in fact one of the Wendigos. So yeah, she was turned into a Wendigo for whatever reason. We don't fucking know at this point. I don't fucking know. The producers probably don't even know. Clover eventually has to kill her Wendigo sister, and suddenly Hill appears. Wait, Nerman, who the fuck is Hill? Hill is a gas station worker we see in the beginning of the movie, and apparently, somehow, all it is his playground. This valley is a cursed valley or a cursed town that somehow he still controls, and it's a playground for his psychic tests. And at the same time though, it's a haunted place with Wendigos, and it's so much happening at once. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Somehow all of this is his playground, and all the monsters we have.
This is very different from the game, bro. It gave us a lot more shit, but it didn't explain it very well. Nah, I'm kind of pissed. Oh, hell nah. I know y'all just seen that fly, bro.
I've seen are just manifestations of Clover's fears. Like, what the fuck is going on? Is her sister actually a Wendigo now? Are these woods haunted? Or is this an experiment from Hill, the gas station worker? Did he put something into her drink? Is all it is just a big psychosis? Did he place a curse? And what the fuck was the giant, bro? Clover eventually faces Hill in his little, office or whatever it is. And while Hill is talking to Clover, he is drinking some coffee. And eventually he puts the coffee down and starts philosophizing about Clover's fears. Clover realized that the ceiling has a leak and decides to move Hill's cup a little to the right, just so the water drops fall into Hill's cup. Hill grabs the cup, drinks the coffee with the water inside of it, and we all know what happens when you drink water in this movie. Hill fucking explodes into thousands of pieces. Yeah, and if you still don't know what the fuck is going on, same, me neither. I have no fucking idea. I feel like the core idea behind this movie was the more shit we put into this, the better. And this movie perfectly encapsulates that more does not equal better. You don't need killer clowns, witches, giants, Wendigos, werewolves. I forgot to talk about that. There are apparently werewolves in this movie, and a psychotic gas station worker. If Iron Man suddenly appeared in the movie, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Very angry while trying to strangle my balls.
They should have just ran the games. They should have just ran the games, the fucking thing. Like the game's plot, bro. The game's plot was fire. But I hope y'all enjoyed that video. I'm gonna get off of here. I'll catch y'all in the next one.
She call me Luda, bitch, I roll out with my shooters. She wanna fuck me in a Plymouth Barracuda. I got my gun on, yeah, she know